This is Adventures of Superman number 513. But underneath that it also says that it is number 23. I have forgotten what this second number means. I'm going to take a guess, and I want to say that they did this so that if you bought all the Superman books, you could read them in the right order. If I am right about that, or if it means something else entirely, can you say so in the comments down below? Because I want comments. I am comment starved. This was actually my first Superman comic. So naturally I have a fondness for it. The other day I reviewed, I think it was Justice League, and it had an advert in it for Superman. And just seeing that advert made me want to get this issue out. This is Superman here. If you've never seen him before, this is what he looks like. He's getting shot at by someone. We don't see who is shooting at him. This guy, he is called a gladiator. He's sometimes also called the Manhattan Gladiator or the Golden Gladiator, but he is basically a bootleg Captain America. He was created by that Jack Quimby, and he really is just like a photocopy of Captain America. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're going to copy a superhero, you might as well copy Captain America. We open up and Superman, he is flying around, he is rushing somewhere. And just look at his hair, it's going mad. He should be rushing to the hairdressers, but he's actually rushing to a lab. And unlike that Justice League comic, on the first page here, we are totally filled in on what we need to know about the story. There is a clone lab and there's a plague going around that is affecting all the clones. One of those clones is Superboy and another is Gladiator and so on. The story starts off a bit slow and it's set up like it's going to be a whodunit mystery. But they actually don't follow through with that stuff. They realise that the Gladiator's blood is the antidote, like it's the cure to the plague. And this eventually leads to... the end is near. That is a cause for concern. This all leads to Lex Luthor's. He wants the antidote for himself. He's suffering from the plague because he was in a cloned younger body. So he sends mercenaries to the lab to steal it, and a big fight breaks out between Superman and them. They're actually called the Lexcellent Men, which tickled my funny bone. And then Superboy shows up. He was given the antidote to the plague so that he was able to help fight with Superman. And recently there has been a big controversy over how Michael Brian Benson is making the new Superboy a baddie. And it's not remotely surprising. But at the end of the day, I'm honestly not that bothered, because this is my Superboy. This version of Superboy right here, the 90s one, with the leather jacket, with the cropped hair, with the aviator shades. This is my Superboy, and they should bring him back. What happens is, the whole lab is blown up and buried under a mountain, and everyone is supposedly dead, except for Superman. And I never read any more, so I don't know if that is true or if they survived somehow. I know Gladiator and one of the other clones show up again, but this might be the end of the clone lab. And Superman, he swears revenge on Lex Luthor's, and Superboy says he's coming too because the people in the clone lab were his friends, and they saved his life with the antidote. And I'm going to flip back actually to an advert. There was an advert near the start for the next part here. Superman versus Lex Luthor's. I never read it sadly, but I want to. I might track it down. It's an alright advert here. But honestly, the text here underneath these heads is too small. It's saying stuff like under Superman it says the hero, under Lewis it says the reporter, underneath him it says the editor, but this one's like Supergirl here. Underneath I can't even read what it says. And this person here at the end, I'm not even sure who that's meant to be, but I'm not even convinced those are letters underneath him. I am a big fan of 90s Superman though. It was really, really good. There were 4 Superman books and they were all at the very least decent. The 4 writers, they were great, and the artists were solid. You had Roy Sternman writing one. You had this guy, Callum Kessel, he was writing one. He actually also wrote Captain America Patriot Man. You had Lewis Simons writing one, and who was the other one? Oh god, this is annoying. He was good as well, and me forgetting who it is just a shame. I really like the 3 or so years of Superman stories, and Stan Jurgensen, that's who wrote it. Oh god, how could I have forgotten him? He was like the main one. There was just so much good stuff in those 3 or so years of Superman. You had Death of Superman, you had Funeral for a Friend, you had Superboy, Super Steelman, Reign of the Superman, Panic in the Sky, Supergirl. This issue is a fun little story. I recommend any Superman comic from about 1991 to 1994. I rate this comic 7 thumbs up.